remember what life was like before the iPhone? Probably not. The reason you don't remember is why the iPhone has become the iconic image that it is today. You don't remember because you don't want to. Most people had regular phones back then. Sure, someone you knew might have had a BlackBerry or Palm, but they were the exception, not the rule. Everyone bragged about their amazing new ringtone. That sounded like it came right out of a MIDI machine, or maybe their phone had a blue backlit keypad. Nobody talked about the internet. Nobody. Some phones could access the internet, but today we would laugh at what passed as the internet back then. Nobody talks about life before the Apple iPhone, just like most people don't talk about life before shoes. Yes, I just compared an iPhone to shoes, but hear me out. The iPhone was not an edge product. It was a great leap forward for mankind. Infinitely more important to our everyday lives than a man walking on the moon. Now don't get me wrong. NASA has done some amazing things, but if I had to choose between a Tempur-Pedic and an iPhone, I would choose the iPhone every time. The iPhone ushered in a new era for mankind. An era where we were truly unencumbered by the bonds of wires and cables too. The iPhone made us all superheroes. We all have access to the entire sum of human knowledge right at our fingertips. This is why the iPhone is like a shoe. Once mankind started wearing shoes, there was no going back. Sure, there are hippies out there like Cody London who doesn't wear shoes, but I really don't see this as a trend. He hasn't worn shoes for 20 years. This isn't some gimmick for him. For the sake of my argument, he is the person you know that still doesn't own a mobile phone. I'm not going to go back to the way life was before the iPhone, and if you are reading this you probably won't either. People can argue and nitpick all day as to whether or not the Apple iPhone was evolutionary or evolutionary all they want. It doesn't matter. What matters is the enormous impact it has had in our lives. The other day I saw a guy walking around with a shirt that said the iPhone has changed the way I poop. At first I just marked him up as a hipster, but then I started to think about it. He probably really was just a hipster, but whoever designed that shirt had his thinking cap on that day. He was right. Whether or not you have an iPhone, you certainly have benefited from its existence. You might have an Android or Windows 7 phone. You might have an iPad, Kindle Fire, or any of the other numerous iPad clones in existence. Hell, you might have just been out to dinner and wondered what something was when your friend pulled out his own smartphone and told you the answer. Never since the completion of the Manhattan Project has something of this magnitude been created. All of the attempts to capitalize upon the success of the iPhone have failed to accomplish the same level of penetration Apple has. Part of this is that the iPhone came first. Unseating a king is hard. The other part is in the name. Apple iPhone. It just rolls off the tongue. Samsung Galaxy S2 Epic 4 Grand Touch. Not so much. If you want to know how the iPhone changed the world, all you have to do is look around. No break space. No break space.